In the morning sun where the flowers bloom, colors burst like a painter's dream come true. Roses red and violets blue, every petal whispers something new. From tiny seeds to trees so grand, every leaf and bird, it's all at hand. Hello, hello plant, welcome to the show, where every flower tells a story. Watch them grow. Hello, hello plant, in every shade and hue, for every heart and every hand, we've got something for you. Indoor greens and outdoor scenes, design your space, let your garden dreams glide. Personal touch with our garden design, free sessions to blend within your budget line. From tiny seeds to trees so grand, every leaf and bird, it's all at hand. Hello, hello plant, welcome to the show, where every flower tells a story. Watch them grow. Hello, hello plant, in every shade and hue, for every heart and every hand, we've got something for you. Now everybody, let's say hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello plant, welcome to the show, where every flower tells a story. Watch them grow. Hello, hello plant, in every shade and hue, for every heart.
Everyone, and welcome back to one of our live Q&As. We do this every Monday, 12 p.m. on whatever platform you are on right now. We're on quite a few platforms, so hi everyone. So our live Q&A is a space where you can come and ask all your gardening questions, no matter how niche they are, how specific. We actually welcome the really niche specific questions. That's kind of what this live is all about. Asking the questions that Google just can't really answer for you because your situation might be too specific or Google just is not really hitting it. We're here with Chris, our expert horticulturalist, who's worked in the industry for decades and decades. How long now, Chris, have you been a gardener?
I guess my first official gardening job was when I was 7. I went door knocking and got myself a job as a gardener, working every Saturday.
Can't say I was working when I was 7, but yeah, so he definitely has the expertise and the knowledge to answer anything that you have. We run these lives for around 30 minutes, so it really is kind of first in, first served. So if you have any questions, please comment them below. We're going to answer them live here. And yeah, hopefully we get to everyone's questions, but it's really just about asking them as soon as possible for us to get them. We also do a lecture style live, normally on Tuesdays, and they cover a specific topic. Last week was all about the exciting new peony that's coming out, type of peonies.
Yeah.
And so make sure to keep an eye on our socials. But yeah, that's it. So if you want to comment below any questions you have, and we will get right into it. Our first question here is from Jeanette. What's the best position for a Haliboris?
Okay, they want complete shade. They want to be right out of the sun. But you could say if you had a deciduous tree like a deciduous magnolia or something like that shaded it sort of spring, summer, and autumn, and it was naked in the winter, that winter sun isn't going to hurt it. So basically, under a deciduous or evergreen tree or under the eaves of the house in continuous shade, and then some nice loose soil. If it's a bit heavy in clay, mix in some potting mix, and keep it well watered. A little bit of, they like fairly rich, so a little bit of Osmocote is great. So yeah, so nice loose soil and in the shade. And winter sun is fine.
Amazing. All right, next question is from Mike. When will my I always get this one wrong. The magnolia, the Solangiana, start really flowering?
Okay.
Solangiana.
Okay,
There
so
we go.
it sounds to me like there's basically Magnolia Solangiana, if it's sexually mature, should be flowering right now, or have started flowering as much as 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks. So they started flowering around Melbourne 3 to 4 weeks ago, and it would only be in very high cold country that they wouldn't be flowering at the moment. They might be budded up. But the question that you're really asking is, when will my Solangiana be sexually mature? Because often the magnolias that you buy take a year or 2 or 3, depending on how they've been produced. If they were grafted, they'll flower within about 2 years. Cutting grown, they'll flower in 2 to 3 years, and seed grown, they'll take 6 or 7 years.
Sorry,
And-
we know we're having some issues with the sound. We're just trying to fix it at the moment for all you on TikTok. So sorry about that. Give us just a second as we try and figure out what could be the problem. Normally our mics are working fine. It might be something on the receiver end.
Yeah, we'll just try resetting it.
Yeah. So thank you for your patience, everyone on TikTok. And thank you for the comments letting us know that you can't hear. So we'll put our mics
We're just
back
gonna get the
on.
sound. This is what happens when you go live. It's
Yep. Unfortunately, technical issues is just part of the part of the gig when you're doing lives.
Plug it and plug it back in.
Yeah, maybe we'll see if that works.
There we go. Someone said there we go.
Okay,
So
can
nice.
if everyone wants,
Let us know if maybe
Let-
just check the thing.
yeah, let us know. Can you hear us now? Okay, you can hear now.
Yeah, we're getting that.
Brilliant.
Still here?
Okay, perfect. All right, thanks everyone.
Okay, so-
okay, we'll keep going.
Okay, so a sexually mature Solangiana magnolia is
Oh,
going to be
lol.
flowering right now, but if you've bought a new young one, if it's cutting grown or grafted, it'll take 2 to 3 years to flower. And if it's a seedling, it's going to take 6 or 7 years to flower. And there's a bad side to that. I mean, waiting 6 or 7 years is a long time. But probably when you bought it, it might have already been 2 or 3 years old. So you might have, depending on how long you've had it in for, you might have 3 or 4. Typically from seed, when they sell them, they might be 3 years. So they'll take about 4 years to flower. But what's great about the seedling ones is that they grow like crazy right up until the time that they flower. So your seedling puts all of its vigor into growing, and then it once it sexually matures, the growth rate slows down and they start flowering. So your seedling ones are good in the sense that they grow like crazy till they flower, but it takes a while for them to flower.
Great. All right, next question is from James. I have some indoor orchids and I keep the house quite cold. What is the ideal indoor temperature for orchids? I think mine are looking a little dreary.
So I've found with orchids that you need to repot them fairly regularly. They need plenty of fertiliser, and they need just the right sort of soil mix. You can make up your own orchid mix. I used to use charcoal and a bit of potting mix mixed together. They like plenty of fertiliser, and pretty much a high nitrogen fertiliser is really good. And optimum temperature would be mid-20s, sort of low 20s through to mid-20s.
Great. Next question is from Brian. Do you have a natural solution to get rid of aphids?
To get rid of
Aphids.
Aphids, sorry.
Okay, almost natural. Spraying around the house when my kids were little, and I didn't want them to have too much insecticide around, I used to use a mixture of dishwashing detergent and pyrethrum. And pyrethrum you can buy, I don't sell it here, but you can buy it in Bunnings. And it only took a tiny bit of pyrethrum. Lots of people say use dishwashing detergent, and you do that on a warm, sunny day, not a crazy hot day, but sort of like 23 degrees plus. So it's a nice sunny day, 23 degrees or more, and you use dishwashing detergent. That will dissolve the oily coating on your aphids and cause them to evaporate in the sun. And what I found is if I put a tiny bit of pyrethrum with them, I doubled or tripled the effectiveness of it. So tiny bit of pyrethrum, like a small amount of pyrethrum and plenty of dishwashing detergent, warm sunny weather. And then the other trick is to do 2 sprays 48 hours apart, because what it is, the life cycle of an aphid is 48 hours. And what happens if you wipe them out now, in 48 hours, the eggs will throw up a fresh batch. So, if you do two light sprays with dishwashing detergent and pyrethrum 48 hours apart, you'll clean them up.
Amazing. All right. And also thank you, Futuraba, for the lovely compliment about the wonderful landscaping ideas you gave. That's really nice. Next question is from Chuffed. I have a small front yard that is surrounded by concrete. What plants can I use to grow for privacy?
Surrounded by concrete, it's a difficult one. If you have to grow in a pot, I think what you need something fairly forgiving, because life can be tough in a pot. You know, the things dry out easier, and they struggle for nutrients and things like that in the pot. Well watered and well fertilised, I think you'd find that a ficus would be best in the pot to create on concrete to create a tall, fast-growing screen.
And we recently posted a video actually about ficus in a planter box, so really good.
Yeah, they're really good. Whereas something like a bamboo, for instance, requires so much water and so much fertiliser that most people don't quite do it up to the right standard and get a poor result.
Yeah. Next question is from Mitchell. Do you have any Prunus nigra in white flowering?
Prunus, no. Almost. What we've got is, I was just looking at them this morning, they've got lovely, not quite pure white flowers. The normal Prunus nigra has quite a soft pink flower, but there's a thing called Prunus Oakville, and that is a very upright one, and that has just slightly off-white, hint of pink, but beautiful bright flowers, and I've noticed them just coming into blossom this morning. So Prunus Oakville will give you beautiful purple foliage in summer and a kind of a white flower with just the tiniest pink blush in it.
Yeah, amazing. All right, got a question here from landscaper Stacey. Any suggestions for mosquito repellent plants?
There's lots of plants that you can use, and I think the lemon verbena is probably one of the best, but reading up on it, people talk about not catmint but catnip as being one of the best. So catnip, and I think if you want to really get rid of mosquitoes, why not put a few different ones in? But there's a mozzie blocker tea tree. There's your lemon-scented tea tree, lavenders, all of those things. But I've heard that catmint is one of the best, and the lemon verbena is really terrific.
Nice. Next question is from Hey Sky Townsend. What would you recommend planting in punnets for the veggie patch right now?
Well, it's not too late to do some broad beans, and broad beans are fabulous. Snow peas, your climbing beans could start to go in now. It's not a bad time to be putting in onions, and any of your sort of greens like your spinach and your silver beet, all of those can go in now.
Nice.
And a lot of people are getting edgy and wanting to put tomatoes in, but I reckon that if you put them in too early, what's going to happen is that they're going to get beat up in the cold and move away very slowly. Whereas if you put them right when the warm nights start, sort of late September, early October, they take off and do much better.
Yeah, really nice. Next question is from Helen. What is the best commercial potting mix you recommend for either plants, herbs, or veggies?
My favourite, we do a range of different potting mixes here, but my favourite is Nature's Soil, and I use a lot of Nature's Soil for planting all sorts of things myself, and I think that's a really, really good all-round mix. And not only is it a good quality mix, but it's not too expensive either. You get a 30-litre bag here for $15, which is it's not the cheapest mix on the market, but it's not expensive, and I think it's probably the best of all the ones that we carry here.
Yeah. Next question from Illest. I need a low-maintenance, privacy-creating hedge like plant to live under gum trees in my front yard.
Right, okay. Gum trees are tough to grow a nice hedge under, but the two things that I've found to be the best is your cherry laurel, or your cherry laurel, which is large, lush green foliage, or also large, lush green foliage is your sweet viburnum. But you need lots and lots of water and fertiliser. And actually, when I think about it, the other one that I've seen, and we've put an interesting video I'm not sure where it is, Emily. Is it on YouTube? You know
Which
the
video?
creeping smoke bush. We've got that's under quite a big canopy of gum trees up in Craigieburn. We took that
It's
video.
on Facebook,
Yeah.
YouTube,
What's it called?
Instagram. If you go on our page on Facebook and search for Smoke Bush.
No,
I would say go to YouTube and search for smoke bush.
I know it's saltbush.
Saltbush?
Creeping saltbush.
Creeping saltbush. Yeah.
So go to YouTube and look at creeping saltbush, and that makes a great hedge up to about 1.5 metres, and the actual video was shot under a thick lot of gum trees with no extra water or fertiliser and really very little care. And that's a sort of a silver grey one, but in a sort of a very traditional one, you could grow the sweet viburnum or the cherry laurel, and in a less traditional style, you could use the creeping saltbush, which you can see on YouTube. And then the other one that's quite good is also Australian native. It's got lots of names. People call it wireweed and maiden hair fern creeper. Its proper name is Muhlenbeckia complexa, and I've seen that grow well under gum trees too. Again, it needs a bit of extra water and fertiliser, and that actually needs a wire support. Like you get a wire fence, that's why they call it wireweed. You get a wire fence, put it on a wire fence, and it grows all in amongst the wire fence and makes a really beautiful hedge and does well under gums.
Yeah, perfect. And I mean, with any plant that we really talk about, we've probably made a video about it. And if you just search up the plant name in our YouTube channel, you'll be able to find videos about it. Next question is from Gail Sergi. What's the best tree I can grow for my long driveway?
I wonder, is it open? We'll come back to your one. I want to ask a couple of questions. Is it open, sunny spot? What area are you? And do you want to have something that grows over the driveway or something that's sort of up on either side of the drive? And I'll come up with a couple of good
Yeah,
ones for you.
Gail, so if you could just answer those questions, like is it an open sunny spot? Do you want it like kind of creeping in on the driveway or keeping to itself in the garden bed?
Enclosed
and
or-
what area are you
Yeah,
in?
what suburb or country
Yeah.
area, because I'll know the soil and climate there.
Yeah, and while you're typing that out, we'll just answer another question, but we'll come back to you. All right. Question from Tracy. What do you think about Portuguese laurel, Chris?
I love them. I love the beautiful dark green foliage. I love their white flowers. It's like a cat's tail. It's sort of a long tubular bunch of flowers with a little kink on the end, just like a real cat's tail. And they're not real fast growing, but as long as they're in the reasonably well drained soil, they'll grow in sun or shade. Very, very versatile and really classy looking beautiful hedge, shape up beautifully, and they're also good for pleaching, which is where you cut the bottom branches off and you sort of create a hedge on a stick or on a trunk, and you have some other flowers or colour or ground cover underneath. So very versatile and good, but they're not what you'd put where you have terrible clay soil or poor drainage, but they'll grow in sun or shade. They'll take bountiful frost. Very good as long as they're in good soil. And also they're fairly low maintenance because they don't grow too quick. So Portuguese laurel's great.
Perfect. And next question is from Naz here on Facebook. What flower can grow well with roses? Something to fill space between rose plants.
Okay, that's a problem I have to deal with almost every day. And my favourites would be, like what I think when you're going between roses, what you don't, and the mistake that people make is that they put something there that's wow. And the problem is that roses are a star, and what they need is a support act so that they can star. So if you put some amazing thing there, like say you put echinacea or something like that, it'll just go into competition with them. So I look for something plain but colourful, and so plants that I would often use in between or underneath my roses, and particularly standard roses, would be seaside daisy, fairly plain but really a great support act. Then I love blue convolvulus or white convolvulus. So that's the Convolvulus mauritanica that grows sort of flat. And what I like about that is that it flowers at the same time as your roses. So blue or white convolvulus. And then another one that I really love in between, like lavenders tend to, if you're putting it in between your standard roses, most lavenders tend to grow too big. There are some miniature lavenders that are okay. But what I'll tend to go for would be catmint, because that makes just a beautiful little mound, not too tall, and again, it's not a starring plant. It's a great support act. So you'll find a great support act would be your blue convolvulus, your white convolvulus, and that's the mauritanica, The catmint or the seaside daisy, really good under roses.
Right. All right, next question is from Light Up Meredith. What's the best fruit tree to grow in Meredith?
In Meredith, almost anywhere in Victoria, I reckon you couldn't go past, if I could only have one fruit tree, it would either be a lemon, because you need lemons, but if you want something more exciting than a lemon, I'd go for a Satsuma blood plum, because they taste, the fruit is fantastic. It's hard to buy a good blood plum in the shop, but beautiful, sweet, tasty fruit, and they're self-pollinating, they're very bountiful, and very few bugs and problems, affect them, so that you're not really having to spray or do too much to them. So they're sort of carefree, fast-growing, and just wonderful to eat. I think Satsuma plums are more exciting in season than even a cherry.
Nice. All right, next question is from Chris. Another Chris. What is the tallest hydrangea growing hydrangea I can buy in Australia besides the climbing variety?
I reckon that's an interesting question. I reckon it's probably just the macrophylla with plenty of water and fertilizer. Just your normal, not your dwarf macrophylla, but your normal macrophylla will come in around 2 meters in height if it's not pruned too hard.
Yeah. All right, next question from Sarah J. Matthews. Evergreen feature tree recommendations for a full sun prominent backyard corner that grows no higher than about 3 meters so it doesn't block the solar panels.
Right, okay. Two of my favourite trees, and both of them will go just a little bit taller than that, but they both love pruning and they both give you more colourful foliage when they pruned a bit, and that would be your Agonis burgundy and your Agonis burgundy, beautiful burgundy cascading foliage, loves a trim, and the more you trim it, the more burgundy foliage you'll get. And then the other one is your Lime Magic, which is a weeping acacia with beautiful golden foliage. And again, it'll grow a little bit bigger than your 3 meters, but the more you trim it, the more beautiful golden foliage you'll get. And in fact, I stopped and spoke to a guy who had a beautiful hedge of them out the back, and his whole secret was a good annual prune, and his hedge was only quite old and only 3 meters tall. So both of those are really good, colourful evergreens that with a bit of a trim could be kept nice and small.
Perfect. Next question from Tracy. About to move the pear tree and apple tree, what's going to last better in lower wet areas below a dam?
The apple.
Okay, great. And then...
But either of those, particularly moving them, I would mound them up, because trees would rather grow into water than be inserted into water.
Okay, cool. Next question from Yuan Carolina. What do I feed my gardenias to grow faster?
Okay, I don't sell it here, but you can get it in at Bunnings. Osmocote liquid fertilizer for acid-loving plants. I've seen it bring a gardenia almost back from the dead. So basically, it's a liquid fertilizer. You put it on the foliage, and gardenias go crazy with it. So Osmocote liquid fertilizer for acid-loving plants.
Perfect. And then next question from Meow Meow. Just wondering, what's a good plant for a nursery? Indoors, small room, medium light. Oh, like a baby nursery.
Yeah.
I was thinking a plant nursery. Yeah.
I was thinking that easy care would be something like a mother-in-law's tongue or maybe an aspidistra. Nice and easy care. Help clean up the air a little bit. Yeah.
Perfect. Next question from Daniel. What veggies/herbs are best to be planted now?
Well, it's your sort of your cold hardy herbs, like your parsley. You could put your coriander, like the parsley, coriander, dill, all really good to put in now. And then your green vegetables like your green vegetables like your spinach and your silver beet, and you can start planting your beans now, your beans or your snow peas, and you're just at the end of the time for planting your broad beans.
Great. Next question from Doug. What's the best small tree for a front garden, 2 to 3 meters tall, or can be easily kept small, southeastern Melbourne?
my first thought was a weeping silver birch, and what's great about them is you can buy one a couple of meters tall, and they have a beautiful white trunk, and they have lovely cascading stems on them, and then spring, summer and autumn it's lovely fine green foliage on the cascading stems. But what's great about them is you can buy one that's a few meters tall now, and it'll grow outwards and downwards, and 10 years from now it'll only be 2.5, 3 meters tall, and it'll be out nice and bushy, but grow out and down, lovely white trunk, beautiful fine lacy foliage and branches.
Perfect. Next question from Emily. Any slim plant recommendations to hide ugly colour-bond fence? We have a very thin area and they're in Queensland.
Southeastern Queensland, you couldn't go past a thing called a sky pencil. A sky pencil take you sort of your warm, wet tropical summers, and that's a sort of a bush with a sort of like a box-style foliage on it, and they grow. You can cut them off at different heights, but you can keep them somewhere between 1.5 and 3 meters in height, and you can keep them only 50 or 60 centimeters wide. So.
You know that plum tree you were talking about with Meredith's question? Do we sell them? The blood plum or something?
Yes, Satsuma blood plum. We've got beautiful dwarf ones, and we might even have some tall ones here as well.
Cool, Meredith. Yeah, so we do sell them. Okay, next question is from Chani. How do you get rid of gnats from plants, the black bugs?
Well, what I was saying before, a warm sunny day, if you're outside, warm sunny day, dishwashing detergent and pyrethrum mixed together.
Awesome.
And spray, spray 48 hours apart.
Yeah. Next question
Twice.
from Ass Hurts. What are some examples of all-season plants that will grow in Canberra? Green all year, please.
Green all year. So you've got your evergreen magnolias, you've got your camellia, like evergreen magnolias, and there's a range of those. There's ones with like Michelia figo, there's your teddy bear, your little gem. There's one that we sell called the big gem, which is like a big version of the little gem. So magnolias are very, very, see in Canberra it's the cold that you're combating with your evergreens. Then camellias, really, really beautifully cold hardy. You've got your sasanquas and your japonicas. Your sasanquas are a little hardier, for summer heat and things like that. Japonicas more in the shade. So you've got your camellias. Then you've got your different. You've got like your English box, or your Korean box, very, very frost hardy. And then another really good one is a Gordonia. You've got different varieties of we have silk screen and oxalaris here, or it's sometimes called the egg plant because there's a big yellow centre and a white flower. But they're all really good evergreens that'll take the cold there.
Perfect. So many great options there. Thank you for the comment, Open Skies, that we are a bit of an icon of Melbourne, Chris.
Thank you.
And a bit of self-promo because I edited this video, but you guys should go check out the funny compilation video we did. I kind of got together all the funny stuff Chris and I have shot and done, like him getting abducted by an alien, getting chased by a dinosaur, and made it all into a funny little video. All right, next question is from Audrey, which is best veggies to grow in Western Australia.
Western Australia, best veggies. Well, I reckon that as long as you had plenty of water and stuff, all of your heat lovers would be the go. And I guess lettuces would be fabulous because you'd need them over there in the heat. You need sort of plenty of nice greens. So lettuce, and right now, a really good thing to be putting in would be your rocket. Right now, rocket would take off and be producing in no time. So greens would be really nice to have. Then I reckon in Western Australia, it would only be a week or two till you start planting tomatoes, and your tomatoes, your zucchinis, all of your heat lovers are going to do great there. As soon pumpkins, zucchinis, so all your heat-loving vegetables, you're really going to do well with. Tomatoes, you'll do them better than we can do them in Victoria.
Perfect. And is there a book that Audrey can get to learn seasonal fruits and veggies about growing in Western Australia? Do you have any good book recommendations?
If I was serious about growing veggies, I would check out the Diggers Seed website. They mail order all over Australia, and the owner of Digger Seed has done tremendous work on doing not just vegetables. Like a lot of the people who sell seeds and things like that don't really put out great information, and they sell like the commercial varieties which don't necessarily taste the best or perform the best in a home garden. So he's been working away there for 40 or 50 years at Digger Seeds, and he's been collecting and promoting varieties that are great for home gardeners.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Is that just in Western Australia?
No, Digger Seeds is Australia-wide, mail order all over Australia, but a great source of information and interesting varieties of seed, really interesting, exciting. Like Digger Seeds have done a lot to, the owner, Clive Blazy, has done a lot to preserve the big seed companies were tending to wipe out the old varieties that people grew for hundreds of years in different parts of the world, and he's done a lot of work to preserve those and collect and preserve those varieties, then make them available to the public.
That's really beautiful.
So instead of, say, like giant tasteless red tomatoes, which is where we were headed, he's sort of he's saved the tastier ones, which maybe not be quite as productive, but when you're doing it as a home gardener, you want to enjoy your tomatoes. So
Absolutely.
So you'll find that if I was looking for to do a wonderful veggie garden, that'd be where I'd be headed for to get the right information and the right material.
Sounds incredible. All right, next question is from Georgia. Apart from digging in gypsum and manure/compost, is there anything to help heavy clay soil quickly?
Some good quality potting mix. It's like gypsum is great, but actually I'll say something about gypsum. You really, in some of the chain stores, they sell this bright white powder, which isn't really gypsum. But they call it gypsum, and then lots of people will tell you that gypsum doesn't work. What you need, real gypsum actually looks like beach sand, and real gypsum is you'd buy it from a proper fertiliser company, and on the bag it would say mineral gypsum, and you'd use 3 kilos per square metre. So most people buy the wrong gypsum and then don't use enough of it, but it wouldn't have worked if they had it because it's the wrong stuff. So if you went to if I wanted to buy gypsum, I'd go to E.E. Muir and Sons. They're all around Melbourne, and they're a professional fertiliser company, and they would sell a real gypsum to you, and you'd use 3 kilos per square metre, and that would make a real difference. But for a fast change of your clay, so you can use your gypsum, you can also use dolomite lime, but to quickly change it, you can just buy potting mix, or you could buy real mushroom. A lot of people sell fake mushroom compost now, but real mushroom compost or good quality potting mix dug through your clay will break it up. And clay's not as bad as people think it is. Most people think it's some sort of weird, toxic, terrible thing. Clay's actually wonderful stuff. It's millions of years old, but it's a little bit too dense. So what you need something to break it up. And what breaks it up, like in your potting mix, you've got your crushed up pine bark, and that crushed up, so even if you got pure crushed up composted pine bark and mixed it all through your clay, so what clay really needs is it needs breaking up with something. Even river sand, anything to break up your clay, and clay's actually not so bad.
Perfect. All right, I'm going to only answer about 2 more questions before we wrap it up for today's live.
Did we get back to the hedge,
We
the
still
driveway?
haven't.
The driveway.
Gail hasn't given us any more information that I can see. We are still waiting for her to provide kind of the answers.
Actually, what I'll do, can we go back to that one, and I'll give 2 of my favourite driveway trees.
Because she was just asking about what's the best tree I can grow in for my long driveway.
Okay.
We were just waiting for more information,
Okay,
but she might have left the live, we don't know.
Yeah, okay, I'll just give it a quick go. Long driveway, somewhere in Victoria. 2 of my favourites, you want, like a lot of Victoria will be very hot in summer, frosty in winter, could be windswept, soil may be a little bit on the heavy side. So 2 fabulous trees that would work really well for most people would be a Sensation maple. And a Sensation maple is they really are sensational. They're very, very fast growing, require very little water, very little care. They grow really big, they grow wide, and the amazing thing, the reason why I suspect they call them a Sensation maple is they start colouring for autumn at the beginning of or end of January, and they will then go right through until the end of May, getting more and more colourful, all sort of oranges and yellows and golds and things like that. Incredible tree, longest autumn colour of any autumn colour tree that I know of, but a big, fast spreading, beautiful tree. And that's the Sensation Maple, grow in almost any soil, frost, heat, drought, fantastic. And then the other tree that's highly and not too expensive to buy either. And the other one that's highly underrated is your Sensation Maple. Now your Sensation Maple, no, not your Sensation Maple, your Japanese elm, Zelkova. And your Zelkova is a type of elm, or in the elm family, and it's very, very fast growing. And it has beautiful, fine, delicate foliage. It's a beautiful, big spreading tree. It could easily arch right over a driveway, but very, very fast growing, requires little care, wind hardy, drought hardy, frost hardy, but beautiful, fine foliage, almost like a Japanese maple. So it has a delicacy and a beauty to it. And then amazing autumn colour, beautiful burgundies and oranges and really, really beautiful autumn colour. So fabulous autumn colour tree. And a lovely spreading hardy tree, hardy to almost everything, wind, frost, whatever.
Perfect.
So they would be, and both of those are fairly economical to buy. So if I had a long driveway, they would be high on my list. A lot of people would put ornamental pears, but there's been so many driveways done around Victoria of ornamental pears that they've become just a little bit boring.
Yeah, fair. Well, we're going to wrap it up with our last question for today. With something that I also care about, because I do love an avo. And Callum is asking, what will avocados thrive in southeast Victoria?
Yes. Yeah.
Perfect.
What I'd be looking for a warm, sunny spot, and I'd be a warm, sunny, so something that was sort of sheltered from really cold winds, like some sort of like alcove, between sheds and the house or something like that. So warm and sunny, sheltered position. Beautiful, lots of deep fertile soil underneath, and which might mean making a bit of a mound, digging a hole, mixing some good soil in, mounding it up a little bit. And we've got some amazing grafted avocados here at the moment that are about, well actually we sold all that we had this weekend, but there'll be a fresh batch in for next weekend. They're about 6 foot tall, they're grafted, they're covered in flowers, they're ready to start fruiting. And I think they're only about $60 each. They're fantastic, like enormous big ones, 6 foot tall. So they'd be great ones to get started with.
Pretty damn good. All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up for today. If we didn't get to answer your questions, sorry. We do these lives every single Monday, 12 p.m. And so you can come with all your questions. It's really just about who comes in first and asks the questions first. So we do look at it on like a kind of chronological order, scrolling through the comments. Please do share this with all your loved ones if you're finding that this information is resonating, if you're liking all the kind of learning and knowledge that you're getting. We really want to make gardening accessible for everyone and build our community of gardeners so that everyone, can solve their problems, have beautiful flourishing gardens. And yeah, we'd really appreciate if you told other people in your life about these lives. And that is going to be it for today. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their Monday.
Thank you for joining me.
We'll see you in the next one.
In the morning sun, where the flowers bloom, colors burst like a painter's dream come true. Roses red and violets blue, every petal whispers something new. From tiny seeds to trees so grand, every leaf and bird, it's all at hand. Hello, hello, plant, welcome to the show, where every flower tells a story. Watch them grow. Hello, hello, plant, in every shade and hue, for every heart and every hand, we've got something for you. Indoor greens and outdoor scenes, design your space, let your garden dreams glide. Personal touch with our garden design, free conversations to blend with the line. Alright. From tiny seeds to trees so grand. Yeah. Every leaf and bird, it's all at hand. Hello, hello, plant. Welcome to the show, where every flower tells a story. Watch them grow. Hello, hello, plant. In every shade and room, for every heart and every hand, we've got something for you. Now everybody, let's say hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello, hello, plant. Welcome to the show, where every flower tells a story.